Welcome, Bonnie, breast cancer survivor and member of the 2013 Celebration of Life dance team. Thank you for sharing your story with everyone. Tell me a little bit about yourself. I understand you're married. Tell me about your husband.
I am. My husband, Gary. We've been married for almost 19 years. He's wonderful. He's my best friend. He's my soulmate. He has been supportive throughout my cancer treatment. He's just been wonderful. I couldn't ask for a better husband. He's my best friend. He's my rock.
And everybody needs a good rock.
Absolutely.
And best friends are hard to find. So you would say that your family and your support system have been very important through your recovery and your treatment?
Yes, they have. My family and my friends have just were wonderful. Were there for me for any time I needed them or when I didn't need them. You know, they knew when to leave me alone and they knew when to be there for me to help me. My mom is a 15-year breast cancer survivor. And so, of course, she understood a lot of what I was going through, and it was great to have her support as well. And my friends, too. I have an amazing group of friends and support system, and I couldn't have gotten through it without them as well.
Now, you said your mom is also a survivor. Were you concerned before you were diagnosed that you would get it?
Yes.
You were?
Mm-hmm.
And when were you diagnosed with breast cancer, and how did they find it?
In July of 2009. I went for my annual mammogram, and they saw something suspicious, which was not unusual for me. Often they would find something they didn't like, so I wasn't worried. But they did ask me to go have an ultrasound, and I did. And I still wasn't worried when the ultrasound was a little concerning to the doctors. But I'd never had a biopsy before, so I had to have a biopsy, and I still wasn't concerned. But the results of the biopsy didn't come out the way I thought they would.
So, what were those first few days like after you were diagnosed? Were you crazy? I would be crazy.
Yeah, well, the day that the doctor's office called, my husband and I were packing to leave for the beach the next day. And she called and said, I have the results of your biopsy. And I wasn't worried. I knew it was nothing. And she said, I want you and your husband to come to the office. And I said, well, that's not really necessary. You can just tell me over the phone. And she did. And after she said the words, you have breast cancer, I didn't hear anything else.
Yeah. Everything changed at that point.
And I said, we'll see you in a little bit. So
yeah.
we went to her office and discussed it all. It was a lot of information and really scary. And at that point, we took all that information home, and then we're still trying to decide, are we going to the beach tomorrow or not? And everyone advised us to go, which was a great advice and great decision. So my husband and I went to the beach for a week, and it gave us time to absorb it all and to think about all of the possibilities and do a little bit of research and kind of just get a grasp of it on our own, just the two of us.
And spend some time alone.
Absolutely.
And absorb it, yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Did you tell anybody originally, or did you just go to the beach?
A few people.
Yeah, just your close circle of friends.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Everybody's treatment process is different. So for the last 4 years, you've been dealing with this. So what was your treatment process like? What did you have to go through to get to this point where you're better and you're healed and your treatment is over with?
I had a lumpectomy, and after whatever time period it was for that to heal, then I did have to have chemotherapy treatment. I had 4 treatments, and after the chemotherapy I had radiation, and it ended up being 8 weeks of radiation. That was probably more difficult than the chemotherapy. Getting through the chemo was scary, the unknown. But once after the first treatment, the second treatment, then it seemed like it was downhill after that, and I kind of knew what to expect. The radiation going every day for that length of time was a little difficult, but it was the physical part of it that it does to your skin, and it doesn't affect everybody the same way, but I had some difficulty with that, but I got through it, and and then the losing your hair, that's scary, and you don't know, wearing a wig with. But once you do, and you have it and you're used to it, you just move on and you just live your life, every day, and you just make the best of it all.
Did you ever have a point that you felt like giving up?
No.
No?
Mm-mm, never.
All good days, all the way.
No, not all good days, but no.
Mm.
I'm a fighter.
Giving up was not an option.
No.
Did you ever visit any of the breast cancer support groups?
I did. The surgeon's office, they have a support group that meets once a month. I knew that from the beginning, but I couldn't go in the beginning. Obviously, you can see I'm an emotional person, and I knew that I probably couldn't handle it. So after my treatments is when I went, and it was actually a great time for me. Everybody in the group, they have to find the timing that's right for them, whether they go once they're diagnosed, immediately, or later in their treatment process. So there's people there at every stage, from the beginning to once they finish their treatments, and it's a wonderful. I would recommend it to anyone. It's even if you don't speak and you just listen, you hear things that you say, oh wow, that happened to me too, or that's good to know, or you learn a lot of things about everything that's going on, because all of the women there are in the same boat.
I have gone to the support groups and sat in the background. I'm not allowed to say anything, which is fine, since I'm not a survivor, but I learned so much from those women, just listening to them. And for me, it just sounded like this was like the thing everybody should do, but I know it's different for everybody, and you have to deal with things on your own terms, but I really think it's something that should be offered to everybody anyway. How do you think, as a woman, not just a survivor, but as a woman, how do you think breast cancer has changed the person you are now?
I think that it has made me more aware of living my life and realizing it can be taken away very quickly. I don't take anything for granted anymore, and I'm living now. And I thought I was before, but now, I try not to say no when an opportunity comes up, because I know that, anything could change any moment.
Looking back at your treatment that you had over the 4 years and going through all of that, is there anything that you think was missing from the way your treatment was processed to the people that you were dealing with? Do you think you were given all the information you could get, and you think it was handled the way that was good for you at that point?
I think that it was. I think the doctors, the nurses, everyone along the way, the support group, every part of it, I feel like I was given a lot of information. There are some things you don't know until you're going through it. Everybody's different, but in overall, I feel like that I was very well informed.
Good. What advice would you give to women who are just being diagnosed with breast cancer?
I think the first thing that was so overwhelming in the beginning is it's so much information, it's so much thrown at you so quickly, and it moves quickly. One of the things someone had advised me to do, which was, I thought, a great thing, always take pen and paper with you. Write down what the doctor or nurse is telling you, because you can't absorb it all, you can't remember it all. Write it down, ask questions, do research. There's always somebody you can ask, or there's a place you can go, or there's organizations. I just think it's important to ask the questions. And one of the other things I learned also, I'm a very independent person. I don't like to ask for help. And one of the things that I learned was it's okay to ask and to involve your family and your friends, because it helps them to be a part of your recovery.
Mm-hmm. And they need to feel like they're part of it and that they're helping.
Absolutely.
It makes them feel better,
right.
too. So even the most independent person has to let them help, so that it makes them feel better.
Exactly.
Did you go, when you went to the doctor, most of the time, did you go by yourself, or did you have somebody that went with you most of the time? Because I've heard from other people that it was helpful to have somebody with them, because you're not grasping at all sometimes.
My husband was always with me.
Yeah, that's definitely a plus. Now, unfortunately, you're a breast cancer survivor, but that's put you in a unique position, because now you are one of the chosen few each year that gets to take dance lessons and come out and perform at the Pink Tie Gala as part of the Celebration of Life dance team. You take 12 weeks of dance lessons at Rigby's Jig Dance Studio. You picked a dance that you want to do, and you're going to come out and perform our own little version of Dancing with the Stars. Have you ever done anything like this before?
No, I haven't. I've always enjoyed watching. I'm a huge Dancing with the Stars fan.
Excellent.
I've not missed an episode. It's always been this little secret fantasy of mine to do something like that. So to have this opportunity to do our own little Dancing with the Stars is just wonderful. And to do ballroom lessons. I've always wanted to do ballroom dancing and never have taken that opportunity to do it. So I'm really thrilled about having this opportunity and doing it in a way that it's fun for me for dancing and for being able to having the opportunity to raise money, funds, donations, awareness for breast cancer.
So you're going to come out in front of 600 people, just you and your partner, and you're going to dance this dance. Are you more excited or are you more nervous? Or a little of both?
I think I'm both.
You're both. But it'll all be gone when that spotlight hits you. You'll be fine. What dance are you going to do?
I'm doing the hustle.
The hustle. Now, the hustle, this is not like the 70s disco hustle, is it? It's a little different.
It's a little different. I mean, I guess you can make it that version of hustle. I don't know, because we haven't started the actual lessons yet, how that's going to
I think
play
it's
out.
more of like a modernized nightclub hustle.
More ballroom.
It's pretty cool looking, though. It really is. You've taken some dance lessons, other types of dances, though. How do you feel about dance? Do you feel comfortable?
Well, since I found out I would be doing this, I have been going to Rigby's Jig for several months and taking lessons and going to their dance parties and trying to learn to be a ballroom dancer and learning some different dances, touching on some different dances. And everyone at Rigby's is so wonderful. They're very helpful and they're willing to show you, and knowing that I'm a beginner, showing me and helping me and hopefully help me get to where I need to be.
Now, the night of Pink Tie, you're going to have tons of family and friends all cheering you on. Are they excited to see this new side of you?
They are very excited. They're constantly asking me questions that I don't have the answers to yet because we haven't gotten to that step in this process, but they're very excited as well.
Well, good. You are indeed an inspiring woman. Thank you for sharing your story with us. I think it's really important that people meet you and know you and try to get some type of understanding of what you've gone through. And I think it's very helpful, especially for new people who are diagnosed, to see that here you are 4 years later, strong, powerful survivor, and that this hasn't ended your life. It hasn't ruined you. Just because you have breast cancer doesn't make you anything less than the beautiful, wonderful person that you were to start with. So I think it's really good to share that with everybody. So thank you for doing that for us.
Thank you, Susan.
You are quite welcome. And I look forward to watching you dance.